down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host. Man, I can't believe you came back.
Welcome to the Savvy Radio Show, part 2 of the Cashflow Quadrant. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, author. A lot of people don't know this. You may know this, but last time I checked, a couple years ago, 36 million copies of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. 36 million copies. Wow. Translated in 60 languages. Wow. Double, triple, dibba do. Wow. I mean, you got to take notice on that deal. All-time best-selling financial book ever. Wow. I mean, again, if you listen to the episode, I compared it to the Bible or whatever. But think about it like this. The top-selling book is the Bible. Best-selling financial book. Well, anyway, listen to the last episode. I talked about Robert Kiyosaki's Cashflow Quadrant. I broke it down to you. 30 minutes won't swing too far. A lot of you young bucks out there, you can't handle no more than 20 minutes at a time. Some of you workout people that listen to me on the treadmill, yeah, I'm talking to you, homie. And you only work out for 20 minutes. You can't go the distance for an hour. So I had to crack it up into 2. And what I'm doing right now, I am just giving my tips, not tips, but my thoughts, my concerns, or the things that I read in this powerful book. I definitely recommend, if you have not read Rich Dad Poor Dad, read that book. Then the second book is a Cashflow Quadrant. To me, it's been a life change. Dream to be on the business side and the investor side. You feel me? You got me? Here we go. All right, I'm on page 15. Wow, we're going to quick this up. It says the important words are generate income from. It's not so much what we do, but more on how we generate income. You got to generate income, multiple streams of income, money coming in, and then you take that money, like you've heard this before, that money in your pocket each dollar should represent a little army, a little man that's out there, or woman that's out there making more money for the army. Every dollar you have should be out there making money. It should be velocity of money, making money, okay? You take the money that comes in that you make and you don't spend it on anything. You turn around and reinvest it. And then all of a sudden your assets are just making more than you need. And then you go out and bless everybody. Number 16, page 16. It says, for me, money is important, yet I didn't want to spend my life working for it. That is why I didn't want a job. And I talked about that in the last episode. They were homeless and then they wanted to create a business before they got rolling. They just burned the bridges behind them and started from nothing and built it up. Page 17 says, I got 2 quotes there. It says, foolish to spend your life working for money and to pretend that money wasn't important. Now, I know I was just thinking in my mind, I kept saying money. People think I'm probably crazy about money. Zig Ziglar said money's close to up there to oxygen. It's so true. I try to tell my children, it takes money to eat. It takes money for the gas, for the lights, for your car. If you got a problem with the word money, making money, I'm not talking about some throwing paper in an MTV video or YouTube video. That's just ignorance, okay? But money makes the world move. It does ministry. It empowers people. It buys books for people that don't know how to read. Money pays for whiz kids so we can have these children have a snack, and for people, the lights to come on in the building, and vehicles to come on. It takes money. It takes money. On page 17, my second highlight was what was important was having lots of time to raise time for money for kids. That was important to Rich Dad. Having money to donate. Page 18. The more successful he got, Rich Dad, obviously he's talking about the fewer dinners we had together as a family. Oh, he's talking about his poor dad. That, most people in society, they get more job, they get a bigger job, get a bigger paycheck, and then they buy a bigger house, and then they do more things, and then they grow, and then they realize they got to pay for all these things, and then they forget and they have to go work harder. That's not what this is about. Page 21. You will find it different. the diagram. We talked about the E, S, B, and I. It says you will find completely different words as well as different ways of looking at the world. As a person who has looked at the world from both the left, E and S, employee and self-employed, to the I, the B and I can honestly say that the world looks much different depending on which side you are. That is so true, man. I'm telling my language, what I thought before as an employee, what was due me, what was owed me, and how I think when I'm hiring people as a business owner today is night and day. They're totally different. And that's the main gist of this book is like, you got to change your mindset. I got to break all these bad habits of reliance on the government or relying on these other things. I have to take responsibility. I have to figure out a way. What businesses could I create? How can I bring service to the market? How can I bring products to the market? How can I do this? Not relying on anyone. Now, here's interesting, page 22. One quadrant is not better than another. You can be a self-employed doctor or whatever, or a lawyer, or a DJ, whatever it may be, and you can invest, and you can grow income. You just need to know that. After reading this book, some of you might want to make a change in how you earn your income. Absolutely. And I'm still on page 22. Also, we grow older and gain different experiences, and our interests change. To page 23, changing quadrants is often a change of core of who you are. That's like my favorite, who you are. Man, I got to change my mindset. As an investor, you're an investor. An investor doesn't go pick up a shovel and dig a ditch, right? An investor has a different makeup, a different attire, everything is different. Property managers fired those are my notes. Okay. Well, it says when things don't go, okay, here we go. When things didn't go smoothly, he began to lose money. He didn't know what to do to solve the problem, so he went back to the quadrant he left most comfortable in. It's talking about his poor dad, and his poor dad tried to own a store, and it didn't work out, and then he went back to being. So this is something I put on here. I'm reading my own notes, and what just recently happened is my property manager became a disaster. A lot of things have been going on for several months I didn't know, like real bad. Like I don't even want to get into it. But it got so bad, I got up to like 15, 20 vacancies. And man, that's a lot of money. That's in the tune of like 10, 15, 20,000 of lost revenue. That's a lot of money. It sounds like a lot of money. It's a lot of money, even if you're making money. And I wasn't making money, and we were dying as a company. And I realized as CEO, my first thing I wanted to do is jump on in there, grab the phones, and start taking care of business. And then I realized if I did that I wouldn't grow. I would be back in the same position I was, how I got there as a rookie real estate investor, doing everything yourself. But a business owner, they outsource everything. So what I did was, it was excruciating. I just held on. I tried to find a property manager, trying to interview people, and by the grace of God, I found a new property manager, and things are going well. And that's what a CEO does. They solve problems. If you read, and the book's not popping in my head right now, but you're a cleaner. You come in, you solve the problem. That's what a CEO does. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I waited. It was hard for 30 days, actually 6 weeks to be exact. I had to find a property manager, and it was excruciating. Every day I wanted to pick up the phone. Every day I wanted to go get naked and put out a sign outside. Look, I got a house for rent. Now of course I did some stuff. I put some stuff on Facebook, let people know, hey, we got rentals. Come on. But if I would have became a property manager, and what's a property manager on the E side, an employee side, then I wouldn't be able to grow as a B&I, as a business owner, as an investor. All right, on page 24, it says, Rich Dad nodded his head. When the fear of losing money and failing becomes too painful inside, a fear we both have, he chooses to seek security, and I choose to seek freedom. And that's exactly correct right there. Just what I said. I chose freedom. I knew that I can get out of this situation. It was painful, but I wanted to choose freedom. Not security. In every business I ever owned, I always undercut myself because I was always driven by security. It's just interesting. This has happened to me like 3 freaking times right now. And I'll tell you these, when I owned the DJ company, we would charge $500 for a wedding. That's what I thought it was worth. And I thought I was worth $500. And I felt if I would tell people $750, I didn't think I'd get the gig. Which is even more interesting. As soon as I sold the business, the homeboy that took the business over, he started charging $1,000, and he's way more than me. And I was because I was security driven. Isn't that? And here's another one that's just real epic. This just happened to me. Like, I had an Airbnb in Florida. It was off the chain. It was a super sweet house right on the beach. Bam. Man, the Lord blessed me with this place. It's a long story. Maybe one day I'll tell the story of how I acquired this asset. Got this asset, turned it into Airbnb, VRBO. Thought I was somebody. Big baller VC, freaking whack. I'm trying to rent this deal out for $225. Then we were starting to rent it out for $300 a day. Man, we crushed it. 2017, bang, bang, boom, boom. We did it. We crushed it. Wow, we're successful. We did it. We made 50 G's. Everything's great. Well, after Hurricane Harvey came through, I was like, yo, I can't handle this kind of, I did my dream, bought a beach crib, did my dream, remodeled the property outside of my comfort zone in another state, bought a property in another state, did everything I really wanted to do, driven by security. Well, the other day I was down in Florida with the Full Throttle Retreat with the peeps, and I looked up that property that I sold, and they were renting that bad boy out for $500 a month. Wow. $500 a day. And you know what they did? They just took better photos because I was cheap. I didn't hire a photographer. I used my phone. And they hired a photographer, probably paid $150. Juiced it up. They didn't spend any money. I got to go back and look at the photos. They didn't change the property at all. I did all the hard work. I did all the labor. They were smarter than me, and they weren't driven by security. They were real investors. They bought that crib from me. They got me. They did it well. I learned so much from that situation because I've been always driven by security. Here's another quote. Changing quadrants often change in the core. We already read that. All right, 26. To be great leaders, Rich Dad stressed that we first had to be great listeners. If you don't listen to the words a person uses, you'll never be able to feel their soul. And if you don't listen to their soul, you'll never know who you are talking to. He went all big on this in this book. I'm telling you where people are coming from. Are they an employee? How do they talk? Are they an investor? How do they talk? Are they self-employed? They're the best. Are they a business owner? It's interesting. Page 27. Words a person chooses are the core values and the core differences of that individual, like I just kind of articulated or tried to. Page 29. Self-employed people are often hardcore perfectionists. Tried to mention that earlier. Page 30. Remember, independence trumps money for this group. The true motto of a business owner is why do it yourself when you can hire someone to do it for you and they can do it better. I'm telling you, it took 10 or 15 years to come from a self-employed joker to a business owner. And that's when you have to let go. That's the hardest thing when I'm coaching people right now. Dude, you got to let go. You can't cut the grass no more. It's out. You can't do your bookkeeping no more. It's out. Don't matter if you know QuickBooks. It's out. Do you really think business owners are sitting at home they're lying. They're self-employed. Business owners outsource. They hire people. That's what they do. Page 31. He ended by informing the panel that he'd rather hire smart people who went to school to come up with the answers he could to clear his mind. Okay, so you know about this. I've talked about this before. Henry Ford. So Henry Ford just billionaire back then. Did you know that the Ford Motor Company did not take a bailout and they're still going strong 40 years with the F-150, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal, right? Well, they questioned him back in the 30s, if he was smart. And, he was smart enough to hire engineers. And he would hire people to take care of everything for him. It's just interesting. It was just a good quote. All right. One quote that he credit for it goes, it says, thinking is the hardest work there is. That is why few people are engaged in it. Ford also goes on, Henry Ford says, thinking is the hardest work there is. That is why so few people engage in it. Leadership is bringing out the best in people. Becoming successful in business, technical skills such as reading financial statements, marketing, sales, accounting, management, production, and negotiating. Business technical skills such as reading financial. Okay, I already, man, I highlighted it twice. Bang, I juiced up on it. Those are true Bs can leave their business for a year or more and return to find the business more profitable and running better than they left it. Man, I remember that when I read that the very first time 10 years ago or so, and I was like, that's impossible. How can I leave my DJ business? Because I'm the one DJ. Like, that was so just epic. I can't do it. I'm self-employed. And it's so cool that I don't DJ no more. Someone else DJs. Someone else runs the company, and I get paid every month, like clockwork. I get paid. I built the business up, and I'm a true business owner. I actually sold that business to somebody, and I carried the paper on that business. And every year for the next 20 years, I get paid from something that I built, a business. Get into multiple streams of income. And the cool thing is, when I sold that business has almost doubled in about a year and a half. That young entrepreneur that took that business over, amen to him. Remember, if I was charging $500, this dude's charging $1,000. He's got DJs, he's got professionalism, and he's just crushing it, man. Just good for him, man. I'm so excited. And this is a great thing about being wealthy and being successful. You want other people to be wealthy and successful. There's so much money going around. It's impossible. You got to share, you got to love, you got to give back. And it's just exciting that I was able to sell a business and this dude's just taking it and running with it and just crushing it. So what causes the difference? Simply, S, you own your own job, business owner. B, owns a system that hires competent people to operate the system. Bam. See, an S, self-employed, you own a job. B, myself, a business owner, I have a system, and that system hires competent people to operate the system. Wow. Another quote, or put it another way, it may, in many cases, the S is the system, that is why they can't leave. Oh boy, I put a note on there. Oh shucks. B, for business owners, can go on vacation forever because they own a system, not a job. If the B is on vacation, the money still rolls in. And that's a great thing about real estate. That, more millionaires are made through real estate investing, period. Bang. And it's real simple, right? It's called mailbox money. It's just as soon as you buy that asset, you dial it up, you find a tenant, and money rolls in. Now, there's more to it, but that's kind of the deal. And then you could hire a property manager. Ownership or control of the system, and you have to have the ability to lead. Remember the importance of being a good listener, allowing words to direct you, your core values of someone's personal soul. OPT, page 37. I'm only on page 37. This is 18 minutes. Man, I don't even know. Maybe I should just stop right here. Golly, this is going to be like epic five episode deal, but hey, I'm going to rock for another 10 minutes and then I'm going to shut it down. If you like this, you want me to keep going on this deal, let your boy know, because I'm burned out. I'm tired right now. But page 37. OPT, other people's time. Ooh, OPM, other people's money. OPT, other people's time, and OPM are found in the B and I quadrant, a.k.a. capitalist. Man, he breaks that off so hard. I just get reminding myself to see that. For the most part, people who work in the E, employee, and the S, self-employed quadrants, are the OP, the other people. Those whose time and money are being used for, and I add, for your benefit as a BNI. So let me read that one more time. OPT, other people's time. OPM, other people's money. So you could use other people's money, and then you get other people to do the job. For example, let's just say you're a wholesaler. I'm trying to coach a wholesaler right now. He may or may not be listening to it. Probably not. People don't listen to the Savvy Radio Show, but there's a few savvy folks out there. Thank you. Appreciate your love. And I'm like, yo, you're really successful at what you do, and you're short on capital, right? Yeah, I'm short on capital. Well, get someone in your market, another real estate investor that needs deals, and you work out a deal, a transaction. He pays for the marketing. OPM, other people's money. And then you hire someone, you find a guy to put out bandit signs. OPT, other people's time. You take that man's money, you hire someone else, you get the calls in. Now you're working, it's okay. You can pay back him, or you can hire an answering service. That's OPT. And then deals start rolling in. It's that simple. That's a business owner. That's what you should be doing. Not using your money and not using your time. Page 38. Most rich people receive 70% of their income from investments, or the I quadrant, and less than 30% from wages, or the E quadrant. If they were an E, chances are they were employees of their own corporation. Page 41. The definition of wealth is the number of days you can survive without physically working, or anyone else in your household physically working, and still maintain your standard of living. How many days? We're going to end right there. Page 41. Or we'll go page 4. I'm on page 41. Here's my other quote on page 41. Wealth is measured in time, not in dollars. So let me read this one more time, and then I'm going to break off this question. We're going to end it right here today. It said the definition of wealth is the number of days you can survive without physically working, or someone in your home working, and still maintain your standard of living. The last and final time. The definition of wealth is the number of days you can survive without working, physically working, and still maintain your standard of living. Pause. Pull the freaking car over. Right now, are you paycheck to paycheck? Month to month? Week to week? Day to day? Where are you? Figure it out. What you can do, and that's your goal. 6 months. Start with 6 months. Put 6 months in the bank. Figure out how to make 6 G's. 6,000, 60,000, or 6,000 a month. I don't know. Figure it out, but start thinking like the wealthy do. They think in wealth of number of days. I was listening to Pat Flynn. Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, hey, what are the podcasts you listen to? Or something. I really have never really listened to a podcast. I just tuned in 3 years later after doing the Savvy Radio Show. Because every time I heard these podcasts before, they're all whack. They start off with these jingles, ding, 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 and they do all this stuff, and they have all these sponsors and all this stuff. I'm like, that's cool. They're getting paid. That's cool. But this Pat Flynn dude, I was listening to him, and that guy's got it on lock, man. Pat Flynn, PATFLYNN, and he has 3 years of what his nut is, his cost of living. So if you're used to making 60,000 or 100,000, that dude has 100,000, 300,000, I don't know, in the bank, and he's got, think of how many days, over 1,000 days of life. 3 years. That's wealthy. That's wealthy. How wealthy are you? How many days can you survive if you lost your job? Can your business propel? It can be, here's one word for you. Get this tattooed on you. Infinite returns. Infinite. Now, that business I sold to that young entrepreneur, his loan is 20 years. So 20 years from now, I won't have that income anymore. So that's how long that business lasts. But how about infinite? Property, real estate could be infinite returns. Think about it.
Investor Weekend is not far off, with over 10 information sessions to increase your portfolio. Log on to www.investorweekend.com. Whether you are a seasoned investor or never purchased a property before, you don't want to miss the Investor Weekend. Join us for a powerful, knowledge-packed weekend with over 10 informational sessions that are bound to enlarge your real estate investments. You will hear from the best national and local real estate investors that will share practical and relevant experiences with you, the investor. There will be several networking sessions to connect with other like-minded people for potential funding, partnerships, and yes, hot deals. Go to www.investorweekend.com. Did you know we meet once a month for the Landlord Lunch meeting? The third Wednesday of every month. Go to landlordlunch.com.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.